Okay, so listen, we have a really good topic that we want to talk to you guys about today. And I'm going to be looking back and forth and doing all sorts of stuff because we got people on the computer, we got you guys over here. But going into the new year, I'm just out of curiosity, either on both screens. Let me know, did you hit your goal or did you not hit your goal this year? Because what we're going to talk about today is going to make sure that you are lined up to ensure that you hit your goal for next year. And I think it actually is the most important thing that we can do in our business. And I know for you and I specifically, like, this last quarter has been by far the most growth that we've seen in our company. And I think that it is, almost predicated completely off of what we're going to talk about today. And that is how to structure the perfect day in your business so that you are really focusing on the things that are most important.
Yeah, and I think it's not only structuring the perfect day, it starts with structuring the perfect week. And I think this is the biggest piece is if you don't take the time to structure the perfect week, you'll have some good days and some bad days and not understand why. And I know both of us are big proponents of every week starts on Sunday.
Yep.
And a lot of people start their week Monday morning and they start their week very frantically and like, what's on my calendar? What do I got to do? How can I move my business forward? How do I prospect? But I know for both of us, it starts on Sunday, and it starts with putting the time on Sunday to make sure that our week is set up for success.
So I want to, what we're telling you right now is nothing that's like earth shattering. You guys have heard this before. But what I want to give you is what I've been using for the last 4 years. And it's basically a two-step framework to ensure not only my plan for the week, but that every single day that I am knocking off the big items in my business that are really going to move the business forward. And so, like Ryan said, that starts on Sunday with step one. And so on Sunday for me, the first thing that I do is I use something called the Eisenhower Matrix. Some of you guys may have heard it. Some of you may not have heard of it. If you haven't heard of it, then what I would suggest doing is just do a quick Google search of the Eisenhower Matrix. It'll show you, it's completely free. You don't have to sign up for anything. Just go to images and there will be a breakdown there for you. And essentially what that Eisenhower Matrix does is, I want to break it down because it's called the Eisenhower Matrix because of Dwight Eisenhower, who was the 34th president of the United States. And this was like how he kind of like move the needle forward with the country. And so he had this statement, which is, what is important is seldom urgent, and what is urgent is seldom important. And we're really good as agents of like making shit seem like it's important when really it's not, just so we feel like we're busy and we're actually doing something. And so the most important things in our business are usually the things that we never make time for. And so the way that this Eisenhower Matrix works, when you look at it, is there's 4 quadrants, right? So the top left is like what is actually important and what is urgent. So that's the stuff that you got to do right now. Maybe that is you got to put in an offer, or maybe that's you got to go drop off a deposit check. Like those are the timely, really important things that you got to get done. Okay. The top right corner of the matrix is what is actually important, but what is not necessarily urgent in your business. Yes, I'll drop it for you in a second. It's called the Eisenhower Matrix, Steph, just so you know. Give me 1 second. I'm going to type it out for you here. I might be butchering the name. Hold on. Eisenhower Matrix. You got it. So what I do is, where was I? I was on the top right corner of the quadrant, right?
Yeah.
What's up, Roger? What's up, Corey? So the top right corner of this quadrant, I think this is it. Like this is how you change your business, is by focusing on that top right quadrant. So it's what is really important in your business, but it's not urgent. Like you don't necessarily need it done today, but if it was done, it would have a huge impact on your business. So these are the things like sitting down and making a marketing plan, or writing the ads that you said that you were going to write months ago, or making the videos that you said you were going to make months ago. They're not, I don't need them done today, but like I need to get them done at some point in time. Okay. So the top part of the quadrant is like, what do you got to do and what do you got to plan? And then the bottom part is, what are you going to delegate to other people? And the right part is what just needs to be deleted in general. And I remember when I first learned about this, I was like, I had nothing in delete, right? I'm like, what the fuck do you delete? Like, if it's on your list, you got to put it on there. But I've realized there's a lot of things in our business that we do that don't even necessarily need to be done at all. And so the way that I use this and the way that I optimize this on Sunday is I just have this book and I do a straight up brain dump of literally everything. Like I just go hard on everything that I need to do in both my personal life and for business. And what I do is I just outline. I just like write for like 5 minutes, all the small things, the big things that need to be done. And what I do is I take that list and then I divvy them up into the quadrants. Okay. And so listen, if you don't have staff and you don't have support, then the delegation quadrant on the bottom left might be a little bit difficult for you. But I promise you, if you use this appropriately, then one of the things that's going to be in the top right quadrant, which is the important and not urgent, is going to end up being like, oh shit, I actually need staff to help me with all of the other important, urgent things, right? And so as my business has grown and as I've continued to use this, it's been really nice to be able to see things transition from, top left to top right. Now I'm able to take a lot of them and put them in the bottom left and delegate a lot of this stuff to my team, and really using this as a tool to organize, my week has been, it's honestly been a game changer for my business. Like it's completely for free. I'm just giving you guys all this. Like just follow this. It'll take you 15 minutes on a Sunday. It'll change your business.
Yeah, this is like, I actually hadn't heard about the Eisenhower Matrix until you um, talked about it, but I always did a very similar thing on Sunday evenings. So Sunday evenings, same thing. I'd sit down and I'd brain dump, and I'd create two categories. I'd create must-dos and to-dos. Like everyone has their to-do list, but like a to-do list is like things you should do, but don't have to be done. So I had my must-dos and my to-dos. And then immediately all of my must-dos go on my calendar. Okay. So all of my must-dos are on my calendar. I make sure they're slotted in. They have their time. They have the title to tell me to do it, whether that's my listing presentations, whether that's creating CMAs for a buyer, whether that's taking a buyer out on showings, whatever it may be. And I first get all my must-dos into my calendar so that I know they're not going to be missed. Then I have my to-do list that is things that don't need to be done immediately, but I have to get done at some point this week that have less importance. And then I categorize those in order of importance. And so like the things that are most important, like maybe it's like paying my property taxes or paying the hydro bill, something that I need to remember, goes at the top of my to-dos, but it's still not a must do. It's not like, hey, it needs to be in my calendar. And then so I do that on Sunday and I know. And then every day I start to fill in my calendar with other must do's. And I cross off my to-do list and add to my to-do list. But what I started doing that was a huge thing for me is, for a lot of people, that to-do list eats up a lot of mind space. Like, oh, I
Mhm.
need to remember to do this. I need to remember to do this. And like you think about it all day and you're looking for pockets throughout the day. So what I started to do is take my first hour of the day for to-dos. What you can do that at any time, because a lot of to-dos are things that are like happen independently, right? Whether it's like going online to pay bills, or whether it's booking showings that you have that night, or whether it's, putting together a formal CMA, whatever it may be, those to-dos are done independently. You're not usually relying on someone else, whereas a lot of my must-dos are like in-person meetings that involve someone else. So they need to be on the calendar, they need to be scheduled. But taking the first hour of the day to clear as many of your to-dos as possible, and then I make the rule with myself, I don't think about my to-do list for the rest of the day. I will add to it if other to-dos come in, but like 8 to 9, I do my to-dos. Those are the to-dos that I'm getting done today. If nothing else gets done, I don't think about it anymore. And it doesn't take up in my mind space. So that 9 a.m. when my must-dos start on my calendar, I'm free of that mind space. And introducing that was such a game changer for me for efficiency. Like I've got crazy bad ADHD, and it just allowed me in my must-dos that were especially with other people to be much more present because I wasn't distracted by the to-dos. And then honestly, I redo Sunday every night where I just go, again, look at my list. Is there any must-dos that need to be added to my calendar? And then I add to my to-do list, rearrange it in order. I have it ready for the next morning. I spend an hour the next morning. Those are my to-dos.
And then I
They're
have
done
to
for the day.
It's 12 o'clock.
So yeah, like very similar in terms of structure. I think you just have like a more formalized matrix. But like if I would give you, I've been doing the overall Sunday thing. I learned it in some book at some point in time for a long time. But I only added the to-do thing like a year and a half ago. And it was like a game changer. You don't forget to pay your bills and forget to do those things.
Yeah.
And you feel, here's the thing, guys, you will, if you do that first hour of the day, you already feel like you've accomplished so much for the day and feel like a weight off your shoulders. So like that's the huge thing.
Yeah. Honestly, the like ancillary benefit that I got of doing this, and I don't feel this way nearly as much anymore, but I used to have like tremendous anxiety before going to bed. Like I was always like early in my career, I like lie down to go to bed at night, and then as soon as your head hits the pillow, there's like, oh shit, and I was supposed to do that, and I didn't do this thing, and what is this person? I should have responded to that email, and this. And what I noticed was as soon as I started to implement a framework like this, like a lot of the anxieties that I had about work, like I feel like anxiety happens because you know that you got to do some shit that you haven't done. Like that's really what it is, right? Is you got something on your list and it's fucking eating you alive because you just haven't done it yet, or you're anticipating that something's going to happen. And so really being able to just do that brain dump and list out everything and know that you're going to have a good plan and that you can structure your day accordingly, to get that off your plate really like honestly helped me sleep better at night and has made my anxiety like reduce significantly. So that's kind of like Sunday planning. And I don't think the concept of planning your Sunday is earth shattering, but I hope giving you that like matrix is a little bit of a structure to help you really understand like, okay, well, when you have 100 things on a list of things that you got to do, how do you prioritize what are actually the most important things to get you to where you want to go, whether that's making more money, whether that's taking care of your health, like whatever your primary objective is or goals that you're setting out for yourself, how do you prioritize your calendar and your schedule around like hitting the things that you want and building the life that you want for yourself. So that's a Sunday plan. And then much like Ryan has his to-dos / must-dos, my second thing is, because I like to take frameworks and structures from other people that I learn, is whether you love him or whether you hate him, Andy Frisella has this thing called the power list. And so his power list is every day you go, and I do this literally every single morning on like I think I got one right here, sheet of paper right here, like a little Post-it note. You just look at that Eisenhower Matrix and you write down what are the 5 things that are going to move the needle forward in my business. That's it. And I can only do 5 things. But if I check off these 5 things, my day's a win. Like I know that I actually made an improvement, because it's really easy to feel like, especially when you're running your own business, whether you're an agent or, you're just like a solopreneur, you're running a business. Sometimes it's hard to see the wins. Like we're really good at beating ourselves up. And so I know that if I do that power list and I'm like, okay, these 5 things are really going to be the most important things that I can do today. If I could do nothing else, just these 5, I know that I won the day. And that has really reduced like, again, the amount of anxiety or the amount of late nights that I've worked. I was working you did probably the exact same thing. Like your first 2 years in real estate, like you're working like 12 hours. I'm working 16 hours a day trying to get everything because we don't have leverage and we don't have systems and all of that kind of stuff. And so really like prioritizing our schedule and doing that and knowing like I have won the day if I have done this has been able to like buy me back a lot of my mental space. But it's also helped me to, when I look in the rear view mirror at the end of a quarter, like we just did our planning, it's like, holy shit. Like I didn't think that we were going to make it this far in, the last 60 days. But having a plan like this and really keeping the main thing and focusing on that every single day, it's like it really is crazy how much you can change your business in like in a quarter, maybe not even a quarter, 60 days.
Yeah, and I think like I love that. Like I love the 5 things because it's like we get distracted as realtors by so much bull crap. Like there's so many
Most.
things that we can be doing that we should either be automating, outsourcing, leveraging. And it's like this is a great way to discover that, right? And it's like looking at your tasks every day and then asking yourself, like of course you have to-dos that are like just to keep you alive and keep the grocery stocked, etc. But like what are the must-dos you have on your calendar that aren't actually leading to your business moving forward? And I feel like realtors create so many must-dos in their schedule to make themselves feel busy. Um,
Big time.
and a lot of times the must-dos are things that they like doing, but like all the things you like doing aren't necessarily the things that are going to make you money. And a lot of times the biggest problem is what you like doing and the must do's that you like doing are the result of the must do's that you don't like doing. Right. And we always have this with our clients is they hate picking up the phone or they hate prospecting, however their prospecting is, and they're not willing to do it. And it's not a must do. It's not on their calendar. Like
Hmm.
the things that go on their calendars are the things they like showings and like listing presentations or whatever, like engaging with other people that already know them, trust them, and love them, or that they already have a rapport and a relationship with. But then we don't see, I ask them to look at their calendars and I don't see on the calendar the must-dos that they don't like. And I think
Yeah.
the people who I see that win in business still prioritize, whether they like doing it or not, the money-making must-dos first. What's going to drive your business forward and what's going to help you make money. Stop distracting yourself and creating must-dos out of to-dos just because they're easy or you like doing them. Make sense?
Yeah, and like 60 days of doing the like, the shit that you don't like doing that makes you money.
Yeah.
And then do you like, and honestly, like I'm speaking from experience here. Doing that and then putting the shit on the Eisenhower Matrix and like, okay, what would you delegate if you could? Like if you could just fill in that one section, what would it be? If you actually just focus on that, you can make enough money to start delegating things to people. And like I think for a lot of agents, especially if you're a solo agent, because I felt like this for a long time, I'm like, seems like a it seems like a myth. Like having somebody else to do some work for me seems like a crazy myth. I feel like I have to do everything.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's just you're probably not prioritizing the right things in your business to move it forward. And as a result of that, you're thinking in your head like, I don't have consistent income and I don't know where my next deal is going to come from. And how can I like take care of somebody else's potential salary or even hire somebody temporarily to help me with these things? And I think it all stems from what we're talking about today. And like I said, I think this truly is the most important thing that you can do in your business. It might not be the sexiest thing, planning your day and planning your week on a Sunday, it isn't like the sexiest thing. But looking back on it now, having done it consistently for so long, I
Yeah.
think it's the sexiest thing ever because I know that it works. Like it is without question. I think anybody that runs a great, efficient, consistent business does
Yeah.
this. Everybody that I've talked to that does it has some type of structure like this.
I agree. I think like knowing what the important things are that are going to move your business forward and killing distractions, right? Like if you guys all really want to accelerate your business, like a great book is like 10x is easier than 2x for scaling your business. And it's a lot of times like we have goals that are 2x and we do 2x actions to get 2x results when 2x results long term aren't what we want. And I think if you can start planning in a way that sets you up to do 10x activities in your business, you'll see much more success right away. and understanding like where your time is best leveraged and when you should be doing the tasks that aren't the best use of your time. And I think if people start implementing a system like this year, you guys that are listening, like make Sunday evening or afternoon when you're sitting on the couch, like give yourself 1 to 2 hours to plan your week. And it's going to save you a ton of time throughout the week, make you more efficient, release anxiety, clear headspace, and increase production throughout the week tenfold.
I mean, I think that's it, man. I don't think there's really anything else that we have to say. Like, that's the structure. Plan it out on Sunday. This is my structure. Ryan will give you a quick recap of what he does. Full brain dump. Just write everything out that you need to do personally and professionally. That's, I guess it's technically a 3-step framework, not 2. That's step 1. After that, put it in the Eisenhower Matrix so that you can figure out what is actually the most important thing in your business. And then every single day when the day starts, what are the 5 things that if I could only do 5 things today, these 5 things have to get done. And I promise you, if you just follow that cadence and that structure, it's, maybe 20 minutes to half an hour on a Sunday and maybe 5 minutes in the morning every single day. And it has basically taken me from, $250 a year to over 7 figures. So I suggest it.
Yeah, and like mine's very similar. It's just like must sit down, brain dump again, must do's and to do's. Must do's go on the calendar on Sunday evening so you know they're going to be done. To do's in order of importance. I give myself an hour every morning to complete as many to do's as possible. Clears headspace, lowers that anxiety, lets you focus on your must do's and be present and perform at a higher level on your must do's because you don't have the distraction of your to do's. And every evening before bed, I do the exact same thing. Look at my calendar. Are there any must do's that didn't go on my calendar that came up that day? Get them on the calendar, redo my to do list. Next morning, hour on the to do's, focus on the must do's for the rest of the day. And if you do that, you're going to feel like you've won by 9 a.m. every day. Or if your first hour is from on your to-dos 9 to 10, by 10 a.m., you're going to be able to focus on your must-dos for the rest of the day.
All right, guys. We will see you next. Hey, we're bringing back the live, so we're going to be back every single week. We promise you guys. We were consistent. Tuesdays. Today's a real special bonus.
Yeah.
But we will see you guys next week. I hope you guys have a great week, and I hope you have a great weekend. See you soon.
See you there.